Hi, it's C. I do rainbow numerology, and today I would like to share my knowledge on 2020 with you. Early on March this year, I already wrote an article on the energy change in 2020 with my own students. And later, by seeing what happened in the world level, I was thinking, why don't I share it out on YouTube with you all and share the information? It is important to understand what is going on right now, and it is more important to know what we can do about it for this kind of year. Some of you may have heard of rainbow numerology before, and some of you may be very new to this concept. Let me explain very shortly and briefly here. Rainbow numerology is basically the integration of Western numerology and the Eastern metaphysics. It's a combination of both. Before we look into the information of 2020, there is one important concept to know beforehand. In rainbow numerology, time doesn't proceed in a linear pattern. Instead, time evolves itself on a cyclical pattern. Whatever happened right now happened already before. And if we don't learn from the lesson, it will happen again in the next cycle. Let's first have a look at the year 2020. When was the previous cycle of this time spot? It is 2011, 2010, 2011. And when is the previous one? It was 2002. And what happened in the previous cycle? In 2002, there is SARS. And in 2010, 2011, there is H1N1. And now we have this pandemic. And again, if human is doing nothing about it and we didn't learn and evolve from all this, it's gonna come again in the next cycle, which is in another 9 to 10 years time. I guess this is also what's important for us to learn and read through the numbers and go beyond to see what we can do about whatever has happened. In rainbow numerology system, we look at both solar calendar and lunar calendar, as they are equally important. In the solar calendar of 2020, it shows the number pattern 066. And in the lunar side, it shows the number pattern 224. This is very interesting and incredible. Now, 066, what does 6 mean? What does it indicating? 6 is all about healing. It is about doctors and nurses, the health care, the rescuing system, treating people, healing people, saving people's lives. It is all the energy of 6. It already leads us to think and look especially in these fields, because the number means the challenge of the year. These are the aspects that's going to be challenged. And in terms of the numerology and 5 elements, what does 6 represent? It represents metal from the 5 elements in a traditional medicine point of view. And what does metal elements in charge of? Which organs does it in charge of? It's in charge of the lungs. Our entire breathing system are all belong to the metal elements. And now let's look at the solar calendar of the numerology point. The solar one is 224. This is incredible because it takes a long time and many years that you can have a 224 in a pattern. What does 224 mean? What does it indicating? 224 contains the largest and strongest energy in the universe. It can turn things upside down. It can create those dramatic changes in life that you see the happening surrounding you is basically like a film. You feel like everything becomes so dramatic. Every day feels like a roller coaster. These all are the energy of 224. It has such a transforming energy. But again, bear in mind, I didn't put anything like good or bad, right or wrong, over these energies, because whether these energies is gonna lead to a positive transformation or a negative transformation, it totally depends on how we utilize it. Are we only utilizing the negative, the low energy of 224? Or have the entire human race elevate the energy, learn from the lessons, so that we can use all the positive side of this energy? Now let's look deeper into this pattern 224. 4, what does it represent? 4 means foundation. 4 are the small things in life, but it's so necessary and must have that we cannot live without. The foundation, like what? Like economy, like the government, the system. Or it can also be actual foundation, like the foundation of a building, foundation of a bridge. These are all the things that's going to be challenged this year. And if the foundation was not solid enough, it was not in a sustainable way, it's going to be challenged badly. We are going to see events happening, risk events happening, incidents happening. And because of the 224, the dramatic power, we can see things unexpected happening, exploding. What else does 4 implicate? 4 is also the earth energy. Anything from the earth. Like what? Like the food, the basic food. Yes, even this aspect may be challenged by human race if we haven't prepared ourselves enough. What else? Earthquakes, flood. These all are the turbulence, the roller coaster effect from the earth, forest, etc. The list goes on. As in numerology, each number does not only cover the physical manifestation, it also covers the whole emotional body, the energetic body. So now let's look at what kind of emotional body does this number 4 represents. In the emotional body, the number 4 represents the feeling of insecurity and all the actions, the behavior patterns, the decision we made based on insecurity. Like what? Like the boundaries we build between countries, between human to human, because of insecurity. And what else? Like we over-controlling, we over-pushing, and we over-hoarding, we over-shopping, we buy too much. Why? These all are the compensatory action, the compensatory behavior one do to fulfill the insecurity. However, this is a year that these parts need to be reflected on and to be healed. And if you have been watching my video up until this point, you must have heard me repeating the same sentence over and over again. That is, if human doesn't learn from the lesson. So what I'm trying to say is that if we collectively learn from the lesson and make a change, and then the outside world, the manifestation, will also change accordingly. I always feel the value of rainbow numerology doesn't only lie in the aspect that it tells what happened and what will happen. Moreover, it's about what we can do about it. What should we do so that we can avoid the dark side and elevate to the bright side? Now let's look back again at the solar number 066. Like I said, 6 is all about healing. Why? Why is so important this word healing come again in 2020? Because the collective consciousness need to be healed. Look at the collective consciousness in the society nowadays. It's full of depression, anxiety. Everyone's stressed out. Everyone's being exhausted. They consume themselves too much, and they consume the outside world too much. So now this year is telling us to heal from 3 aspects: physically, mentally, and energetically. So the first one, physically, all the blockages in the body is a message. All the blockages in the body represents a unlocked memory, a old memory, a cell memory that's not been reconciled. And all the disease is actually a calling for something which is missing in the life. So why don't we use this time of the lockdown or quarantine to really take a look back inside ourselves? So in this year, please start to love yourself unconditionally. Only when you are healed, you can start to heal other people. The low energy form of 6 is always associated with other people. We put way too much attention and emphasis on other people. We care about what other people think of us instead of what we really are. We want other people to be too perfect in such a way we become mean and picky without realizing ourselves, without seeing ourselves. So in this year, all the attention, please draw it back to yourself, to your inner self, to your inner child, or whatever you put it. And now the lunar number 224. Again, like I said, 4 means the insecurity feeling emotionally, in the emotional body. And this is the year that we all should reflect our behavior pattern and our decision-making pattern and our action. See whether they are driven by fear and insecurity, or we do it simply out of love. The high energy form of 4 is always about to be inclusive, to see each other as one. No more differentiation, no more hierarchy, no more casting people. Even though it gives us a sense of secure, isn't it? The ego loves hierarchy. The ego loves to put other people down and yourself higher than them. It makes you feel secure. But is this the way? The high energy of 4 is always to consider everyone and every sentimental beings in this universe as one. Also, don't forget, 4 represents the earth energy. So what we can do on this point, in this year, try to be a vegan or a vegetarian if you can. If you cannot, maybe start from a part-time vegetarian. Choose 10 days out of your calendar each month and be a full vegetarian on those 10 days to start with. No pushing, no forcing, just to start from something small, some small change. Small change can change your whole life. And stop using plastic. I know everyone is talking about these sentences, but why we are still using it? Because we're not conscious enough. We're not aware enough. We thought we are just a person. We can't change the world. If our mind is rooted in the inability to change the world, how the world is going to be like? No wonder the world become like this today. And I think now it is a time for us to learn something. Everyone is in quarantine, and even scientists said the shaking of the earth is stopping. The environment goes back to its natural form once everyone is in the home. We can change the world with a joint force together. Start from you and me, start from our own life, start from ourselves. And reflect on over-hoarding, over-buying, over-shopping, over-having. Look into it, why we are doing it. Are we insecure about our existence? Is there too much insecurity or fear behind it? And the more you buy, you are losing the connection with each material. If you spend time and be grateful of whatever you already have, you start to build that connection again. You start to get energy from it. There is a beautiful energy exchange between human and everything out there, even a cup. And also, instead of buying, why don't we transform this energy into creating? If you want to have something, think of maybe how you can create it instead of just using money and buy. This is very limited imagination. I forgot my Apple Pencil that day, and I need to use it. And I was thinking, what are the possibilities that I don't need to buy it and I can have it? So I create one. Simple, and it's fun, it's enjoying and rewarding.